Hey guys, Caleb here. I want to follow up with another video. I did pick up a new revolver, which I was a little excited about, but I have been busy with work and I've been home with my family and enjoying Thanksgiving and holidays and stuff. So, the last video I did was a Ruger Vaquero, which I still use as a carry gun. Unfortunately, due to the fact that I am flying back for the holidays, I did not bring it back up here to work with me. So, in my apartment, to leave up here, I picked up a new gun over the holiday week off for Thanksgiving. I had a Remington R51, a second generation 9mm. I picked it up for a really good deal at Cabela's one day when me and the family were in there. I shot it, I carried it, rode around my backpack for about 6 months. It was a good gun, it carried awesome, it was super light. I prefer a 357 over a 9mm any day. So, the gun that I picked up, see here, it is a Taurus. I know some of you guys are going to say, oh my god, a Taurus. But this one's really not that bad. This is a 2000, around 99, 2000 produced model Taurus 66, which is basically Taurus's offshoot of the Smith & Wesson Model 66, which is a stainless version of the Model 19. So essentially it's Taurus's version of Smith & Wesson's Model 19. They call it the 66. It has a 4-inch half-lug barrel. It looks identical to a Model 19 Highway Patrolman my father has actually. It actually fits the same holsters. Internally it's different. Taurus uses coil springs instead of a leaf spring like the Smith & Wesson. One thing that is interesting I do like about this is it holds 7 rounds, and you can see all the way through the cylinder that it's completely empty, and you can see 7 holes. And this gun, when I got it picked up from a friend of mine. It was a little rough. I think somebody used it for a truck gun. It hasn't been fired a whole lot. It doesn't have much of a turn ring on it at all, but it had some external rough spots, and somebody did Duracoat the top strap of the barrel so that it was a more matte blue dark finish so it didn't glare, which it actually does make sense. I have shot this. Me and my son and my step-grandfather fired 100 rounds to it over the holiday weekend. Since I have fired it though, I actually had some free time and I had some extra money off a bonus check that I purchased a new set of Wolf gun springs, which includes a new trigger spring and a new mainspring for this particular gun. I installed them as well. I polished all the internal. I just made sure there wasn't any burrs, no machine marks or anything like that off the inside. I also oiled the exterior down and rubbed it extensively with steel wool and got most of the pitting and the rough spots and the bad spots at least smoothed down. They're not as noticeable. It did get rid of quite a few. It's still, like I said, it's still not perfect, but it sits in a holster and it is my protection while I'm in my apartment in North Dakota. When I was on Midway ordering the gun springs and the holster, I did find Hogue grips happened to be on sale. I had some birthday discounts and Black Friday and Christmas and all sales coming up and stuff. I did get this awesome pair of wood. They're Hogue. They're called laminated camouflage. They're wood grips with finger grooves. They fit awesome. They were a little tight going on. I'd have to tap them in there with my hand. But the fit, once screwed down, is phenomenal. The way that it feels in the hand is awesome. It is 100,000 times better than the factory Taurus grips. I love these grips. I love Hogue grips. I've had them on this gun. I've had them on 1911s. I had an SP-101 that had one of them. If any double action revolver, I feel needs a set of these grips because it holds perfect. This gun, since I have put the new trigger springs and hammer springs in it, I don't have a trigger gauge, so I had to use my fingers to guesstimate, but it did shave probably close to 2 to 3 pounds off the double action pull, and at least a pound, maybe a pound and a half off the single action. To be honest, I don't shoot a double action revolver single action very often. I usually rely on the double action. It's because that's the advantage over the single action that I already have. So I do like this gun. I did carry it. I carried it in South Missouri when I was on my off week, and I carried it the entire journey back up to North Dakota. It was on my hip during a 15-hour car ride. It rode really nice. A lot of that is due to the holster though. This is the holster that I picked out for it. This holster is for a Smith & Wesson K-frame, which this is a copy of, with a 4-inch barrel, which this has. So the holster fits it perfect. The holster is a Galco. It's called the Wheel Gunner. It's a newer one that they came out with a couple years ago. It's designed for better concealed carry options for revolvers. They make them for single actions, they make them for double actions. I have two of these. I have one for this new double action Taurus, and I have one for my Vaquero that I carry on my hip. Now the one for the Vaquero, since mine has a short barrel, they didn't make one, so I bought the one with the 5.5-inch barrel and shortened the end of it up to fit my gun. So it is nice. Actually, the one for my Vaquero does fit the Taurus, but the one thing I didn't care for is it left the trigger guard exposed, and since it was a double action, I didn't like that. So this holster was also on sale, so I went ahead and sprung for it. It's perfect. It's got some nice construction, really nice leather. It's simple. It looks really good on the hip. And one thing I do like is the belt goes through here, and the cylinder of the gun sits here, which means the cylinder actually sits above your belt, so it sits very flat against the side of your body. So when you have the gun in, now it does sit high on your hip, so that is to be taken into consideration. It holds it very nice. It covers it very nice, as you can see. It does have a thumb strap that goes on like that. A little bit old school, but it holds it in very secure. I didn't have any issues with it. It's not going to come off by itself. It's not going to discharge by itself. But I love these holsters. This is one of the best Galco products I've ever come across. I just think it looks good. I don't really consider myself a very ornate person, so I tend to go with the simpler stuff. This is the one I chose. And one of the reasons I also like this holster is it can be used strong side on my right hip, or I can flip it around and put it on my left hip, and it sits perfect in a nice cross draw fashion. I haven't worn it cross draw yet, mostly just because I've been wearing it on my strong side. I do like the way it sits. None of my family noticed I had it on, except when they asked me which gun I was carrying, because they know that I'm always carrying something. But you can't see it. I wear it on my belt. I wear a white t-shirt and usually a solid color or a flannel pattern or a checkered kind of button-down shirt. We were at Thanksgiving, so it was a formal, what I would consider a formal gathering. I wore this gun. It was perfect. It carried nice. Additional cool feature about this holster is once you have it on your belt, you got it all snapped in there and stuff, you got it where you like it. And I went to go pick my daughter up from school, and it's normally one of those, and I gotta stand here and unthread my belt. No, well, this one you don't have to. You simply unsnap this. The gun and the holster body itself slides out. You can leave it underneath the seat of your truck, car, van, whatever you drive. And this part just simply stays on your belt. So it makes it really nice. It's really easy to carry it because it's really easy to take it off if you need to. Typically I don't have to a whole lot, but there did arise one occasion where it was nice, and when it's time to go back, it snaps back in there. It's very secure. It's not going to jump out of there. It's held in there. I never felt like the gun was floppy or loose. It was the exact place where I put it. I plan on shooting this gun more if I have more time. I have to be at work at 4:30 in the morning, so it won't be tomorrow. Probably won't be the next day. Might even not be till the weekend. But I do plan on kind of tinkering with this gun a little bit more. I want to try to get the finish cleaned up a little bit more, just for a project mostly. I did come across some old gunsmithing stuff, and one of them was a rebluing kit that hasn't been opened, so I might dive into that at some point. So as of now, I would say the guns remain pretty well stock, with the exception of the grips and the springs. One thing I did do, since there wasn't a whole lot of aftermarket support for these Taurus sights, and I don't think the Smith & Wesson sights will actually fit, even though it's supposed to be a clone, is I did do a little bit of adjusting to the sights just to get it shooting. I was shooting at tin cans on a fence post, so I got it shooting good. And I did paint the front sight. It has a serrated ramp. It's actually a fairly nice front sight for a revolver. It has a serrated ramp sight. And what I did is I went to Walmart a couple years ago and found what I would consider the best, most reflective nail polish. And the color I picked happens to be a bright metallic yellow. So I typically put that on the front sights of my guns. And then I bought some hard as nails, the clear coat that goes over the top of it, is I'll put 2 coats of that on there. And what that does is it kind of makes it really glisten and shine and stuff. So in daylight it's easy to see it. And I have actually even shot at night under a real bright moon. It'll glow off that clear coat enough that I can actually see the front sight. Really super cheap poor man's night sight, and it does work. The back sight I am going to have to do a little bit of filing with. I'm debating on painting the inside. Right now all I've kind of done is clean it up and just make it a little more presentable. Like I said, this gun is kind of rough. I've actually debated on, I think if I ever find the time, I'm going to polish the trigger and the hammer, polish the exterior surfaces, mostly just for cosmetic purposes, just because I want to, and it gives me something to do when I'm sitting here 1,000 miles away from my wife and kids. So other than that, I love the gun. This is actually not the first Taurus revolver I've ever owned. We've had a couple off and on over the years. Never really had an issue with them, but somebody always wanted them more than I did. This one I actually really like. For some strange reason, it's bitten me with some kind of bug, and I spent every free moment today debating which Smith & Wesson revolver I want to buy next, because I'm a huge fan of the 3/4 and half lug barrels on the older Smiths. And some of the new Smiths have them now, and I think it looks amazing. So there's my dilemma now, is do I want to trust a new Smith & Wesson, or a local pawn shop had a Highway Patrolman Model 28 that somebody had nickel plated, which actually looks fairly good, and they wanted $450 for it. So there's also that. But there's Christmas coming up, and I just had a birthday. My wife got me a set of stag grips for my Vaquero. So if I buy any more gun stuff, I probably won't be making any more videos, because I'll probably be in the ground, and it'll probably be with whatever gun I'm carrying, so I really hope it's not this one. But all in all, I can't really speak for Taurus customer service, as I haven't had to use it. I tend to try to figure out my own problems before I rely on somebody else to do them. Same way with a gun. It's a machine, it's mechanical, you take it apart, there's got to be something wrong. It's as simple as that. So I haven't had very many problems yet. Hope I never have to. I really like this gun. The timing's spot on, it shoots good, it handles full house 357s very well, it's a breeze to shoot. And it does, it reminds me a lot of a Smith & Wesson 19, which is what it's a copy of, so I would hope so. The only thing I like better about this is it actually holds 7 rounds, which I think is awesome. That's one more round of 357. Great. Speed loaders, there's some out there. I haven't bought any yet. I don't know if I will or not. It does kind of offset the amount of ammo. 7 rounds doesn't squarely go into 50 very well, so it does kind of throw that off a little bit. Makes me wind up with extra rounds here and there. But I did pick up a bunch of reloading stuff for my father. We were cleaning out his garage, and he said I could have it, so at some point I'm going to get that set up and try to get it going so I can start churning out some more 38s and 357s. While we're talking about 357s, I've talked about this before in my Vaquero video. Since I already had the ammo on hand, and since I already liked the performance out of a 3 3/4 inch barrel, bumping it up to a 4 wouldn't have been that big a deal. So I decided to go ahead and carry the same ammo I carry in my Vaquero. I'm going to put the gun over here so I don't have the ammo near it. And here's the rounds that I unloaded out of the gun when I took it out of my backpack. These are Remington HTP 125 grain 357 Magnum semi-jacketed hollow points. Really nice ammo. It's not too bad to buy. It's decent to shoot. It is a lot better to shoot out of a K-frame size gun than it is my little Vaquero. It's still not bad as a Vaquero, it's just a lot more fun and a lot easier to control. Now with these, they are a little bit different. They do have the nickeled cases, which I think is supposed to make them more corrosion preventative, easier to see at night as some of the stuff I've read. I don't know. If it's dark, it's dark. But I do like them. They've all been consistent. They actually just look good. I haven't noticed any major defects on any of them from all the times I've shot them and carried them. I've used HTP ammo in the past. I've never had any bad deals out of it. It just works. So I chose to carry it. So this one, I have 7 rounds for it. They work great. At least target-wise, they're accurate. They're not smoky. They're not dirty. They're not anything like that. I just think they work good, so I'll probably continue to do these. Once I start reloading, I probably will try to duplicate them. My goal with 357s though, since one of them's a single action and this is a Taurus, I'm not going to go with the super hot 357s. I'm going to go with standard factory 357 because there's just no need. If I decide I want more than that, I'll step it up to a 44. So as of now, I am debating another revolver purchase. It really makes sense to buy another 357 just so that I have another 357. But knowing me, I will probably have the money, find 7 things that I like better before then, and wind up with something completely different, kind of the way that I wound up with this Taurus. I probably never would have bought one, but a friend asked me about it. He said, "Hey, do you know anybody looking for a Taurus 357? And as I was laughing, half-heartedly, I said, "Yes, I have a Remington 9mm, I'll trade you." And he said, his words, and I quote, "I actually would be interested in that." So the Remington 9mm that I paid $200 for, I turned around and I got this revolver. I did a little bit of work to it, put a little money into it, and now it's something I carry in my backpack when I take it out of the house. So that's all I got for today. If the weather continues to cooperate and my work schedule slows down during the day, I might take the pistol out and put some rounds through it. We'll have to see. I can't make any promises, but I will try to make more videos more often. I know I've kind of slacked on that because I've been really busy, and honestly I forget to make stuff happen like that happen. So again, Taurus 357 model 66. It's not a Colt, it's not a Ruger, but for what they cost new, I think this gun new was like $370. It looks a little bit different because they have the full lug underneath them, more like the modern Smith & Wesson 686s, which I don't think look as good. But I'm happy with the trade that I made. I'm happy with the gun. I think it turned out good. And overall, it's just one of those things that I like having it. If something bad does happen and my house gets broken into and it gets stolen, it's not a family heirloom. I'm not going to be super brokenhearted. Angry, yes. Brokenhearted, no, because I can replace it. But that's all I got for you guys tonight.